Hey there! So, have you ever found yourself completely stuck trying to say where something is in German? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. It's a super common hurdle, but today we are going to crack that code. We're diving into German prepositions for location and getting a handle on the dative case. Let's jump right in. Okay, so here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start with what makes German locations a bit of a puzzle. Then we'll meet the 9 prepositions that are at the heart of it all. I'm going to give you the one golden rule you need to remember. After that, we'll see it all in action with some really clear examples. And we'll wrap up with what I think is the most important tip for anyone learning a language. So, what's the big deal here? Why is this so tricky? Well, in German, it really boils down to one thing: picking the right case for your noun whenever you're talking about where something is. It might seem like a tiny detail, but trust me, it makes a huge difference in how natural you sound. Let's just take a super simple everyday question. Something like, wo ist der Stift? Where's the pen? Figuring out how to answer that simple question correctly, well, that's exactly what we're going to nail down today. All right, the key to solving this whole puzzle lies with this special group of 9 prepositions. In German, they're called Wechselprepositionen, which basically means two-way prepositions. And they're called that because they can go with 2 different grammar cases. But, and this is the important part, don't worry about that. For just describing a location, we only need to care about one of those cases. And here they are. This list right here shows you the 9 words you'll be using all the time to say where stuff is. Seriously, these are the foundation for everything we're about to cover. Okay, let's just run through them quickly. We've got en, auf, hinter, in, neben, über, unter, vor, and zwischen. It's a really good idea to get familiar with these 9 because they are absolutely essential. Okay, now for the best part, the part that makes it all click. When you're simply talking about a static location, something that's just sitting there, not moving, there is one simple golden rule that makes everything make sense. And here it is. This is the golden rule. If you can ask the question wo, which means where, then the answer will always, and I mean always, use the dative case. That's it. Think of wo and dativ as a team. They always go together. If you remember nothing else, remember that. So, what even is the dative case in this situation? Let's not overcomplicate it. Just think of it as the grammar tool you pull out when you're talking about a fixed position. No movement, just location. It's kind of like the official "you are here" case on a map. All right, so theory is one thing, but let's actually see how this works in a real sentence. The main thing you're going to see change when you use the dative case is that little word right before the noun. The article, like the. Okay, this table breaks it down perfectly. So in the normal, standard case, the nominative, you've got your familiar articles, der, die, and das. But as soon as we answer a wo question, they have to change to the dative. So masculine der becomes dem. Feminine die, this one's a little tricky, it becomes der. And the neuter das also becomes dem. Getting this shift down is really the key. Let's go back to our pen, remember? So the table is der Tisch. That's a masculine noun. So if we answer the question, wo ist der Stift, we say it's auf dem Tisch. You see that? Der flipped to dem. That's the dative case right there in action. Okay, let's try another one, this time with a feminine noun. The school is die Schule. So if someone asks, wo seid ihr? Where are you guys? You'd say, wir sind in der Schule. See? The feminine die changed to der. Perfect. Now, you know how in English we say don't instead of do not? Well, German speakers do the exact same thing. They love shortcuts to make things sound smoother. And that's where contractions come in. They are super common in everyday speech. So take the preposition an and the dative article dem. When you put them together, they pretty much always get squished together to become am. It's just faster to say and sounds way more natural. So instead of saying something kind of clunky like, ich bin an dem Bahnhof, what you'll almost always hear a native speaker say is, ich bin am Bahnhof. This is a perfect example of how the language actually works in the real world. And it's the same deal with another really common pair, in plus dem. Put them together and they become im. So if our pen is inside the book, that's das Buch, which is a neuter noun, you'd say, der Stift ist im Buch. You wouldn't really say in dem Buch. Again, im is just so much more natural, and you will hear it all the time. Okay, we've gone through a lot of grammar, But now, let's talk about the single most important piece of advice. And this comes straight from the teacher in our source material. The message is simple. Wichtiger ist, dass wir sprechen, sprechen, sprechen. What's most important is that we speak, speak, speak. Seriously, don't let the fear of mixing up a damn or a dare stop you from actually talking. The whole point is to communicate, right? Getting the grammar perfect? That'll come with time and practice. So, if you only remember one single thing from all of this, please let it be this. When you are describing where something is, a static location, just ask yourself the wo question. The answer will always lead you straight to the dative case. That's your compass. And now it's your turn. Let's put this to the test. Using everything you just learned, how would you answer this question in a complete German sentence? Wo ist die Katze? The cat is under the table. And a little hint, table is der Tisch. Give it a shot. Thanks so